greedy Jake Wagner, you. I want you to suffer. I want your mother to live, and you boys to die as well as your dad. I want you to die so your mom feels the heartache of what it's like to bury a child. It's a heartache that never goes away. I hate you. You ruined my life.
In my opinion, this is one of the most underreported cases in the last 25 years. Let me bring you up to speed. This is Jake Wagner and his family. This is his brother George, his mom Angela, and his dad Billy. Back in 2010, then 17-year-old Jake Wagner starts dating this girl, 13-year-old Hannah Roden. Their relationship is volatile, manipulative, and controlling. Jake is atrocious to her. A few years into the relationship, Hannah becomes pregnant, and in 2013, they welcome a baby girl named Sophia. After a few more years of Jake's BS, Hannah leaves him for good and starts dating other people. In fact, a few years after Sophia was born, she gets pregnant with another baby by a man named Charlie Gilly. Jake starts obsessing over the fact that Sophia is going to be SA'd by one of the men in Hannah's life. There was absolutely no evidence that this was happening, but Jake was obsessed with the fact that that is what was going to happen, and he wanted to make sure it stopped. So he had a plan that he took to his father, Billy. Together, they decide that they're going to kill Hannah and her new boyfriend. They're going to make it look like a murder-suicide. But then they start thinking, well, that's not going to do the trick, because if we only kill Hannah and her boyfriend, then Hannah's parents are going to fight for custody of Sophia. So they come up with the second plan. Let's kill her entire family. So Billy and Jake take this idea back to Angela and George, and all four of them decide this is a brilliant course of action. So that is exactly what they do. And on April 16th, 2021, they kill 8 members of the same family at 4 different locations. First stop is Chris Roden Sr.'s house. Billy, George, and Jake show up at Chris's house. Now, Chris and Dana were married, but were having some marital issues. So Chris was living in his own house, and his cousin, Gary, would sometimes stay with them. So these were the first two victims. Next, they go to Hannah's older brother's house, Frankie, where he is laying in bed asleep with his fiancée, 20-year-old Hannah Gilly, and their 6-month-old baby is laying between them. Jake breaks into the house and shoots both Frankie and Hannah, killing them both. Third stop is Dana Roden's house, where she's living with her daughter Hannah, you know, Jake's love of his life, and Hannah's little brother Chris. Shoots all of them in the head, and Hannah has a 5-day-old newborn baby laying in bed with her. Later in testimony, Jake says that after he shot Hannah, she fell off the bed, and he picked her back up and put her on the bed so that the baby could nurse off her deceased mother. Last stop is Chris Sr.'s brother, Kenneth Roden. Kills him because, you know, he, I'm sure, is a huge threat to the family. The victim impact statement that you saw at the beginning of this video was Hannah Gilly's mother, and I'm going to post her full impact statement. It was extremely emotional. Eventually, Jake comes clean and tells police every last detail of what they had done. Angela Wagner is sentenced to 30 years minus time served. Jake Wagner, who did almost all of the killings, was sentenced to life in prison with the chance of parole after 26 years. George Wagner got life without parole, which is very interesting that he got the harshest sentence, and of the 3 men that went to commit the murders, he was the only one that didn't actually pull a trigger. Trial of Billy Wagner is supposed to start January 6, 2025.
After she made her hand to Billy's mom, you 3 helped plan, carry out, and murdered my grandson, Ruger, who was 6 months old, laying in the bed between his mom and dad, Frankie Roden, and Hazel Gilly, let alone your granddaughter's mother. How greedy of a grandmother are you? How greedy. You killed your granddaughter's mother. You're evil. You're evil. You are the spawn of Satan's. And the Satan is Billy Wagner. You are the evilest mother to help plan, carry out, and take the lives of 3 other mothers. My daughter was only 20, and you want 30 years of your life behind bars. 30? She was 20! 20! She never been enough to buy alcohol. She got 6 months of her life with her kid. 6 months. And Hannah Mae Roden, the love of your life, Jake Wagner. The love of your life. Your daughter's mother. She got 4 days. Kylie Roden got 4 days. Do you know what kind of questions I have to answer? First, it was bad people came in. Next, they see your faces on the news. So guess what? I had to explain more. Because they're not little kids no more. They're not 6 months old. They're not 4 days old. Ruger's soon to be 10. 10 years he's been without a daddy to teach him how to fish, to teach him how to hunt, to do all the man things. He has to depend on uncles, cousins. Because of you, Jake. Greedy Jake Wagner. You. I want you to suffer. This is what I want. And I told all of BCI, I want your mother to live and you boys to die as well as your dad. I want you to die so your mom feels the heartache of what it's like to bury a child. It's a heartache that never goes away. I hate you. You ruined my life. You ruined innocent children's lives. I hope you die. I pray every day you die. I pray your grandchildren and your children never want anything to do with you. And I hope they never do. I hope your daughter hates you with a passion and as much heart as I hate you, Jake Wagner. You shook my hand and acted as if you was my fucking friend. After you shot my daughter 5 times in the head. 5 times? Man, like her son laid between them. And Hannah Mae, she's holding her little girl. And you shot her. How cold and evil. You are spawn of Satan. I'll say it again. Spawns of Satan, you and your brother. And you, evilness, created them. And Miss Rita, I feel so sorry for you because I know you're ashamed to have such a daughter and grandsons that evil. Because you was the first to feel the guilt and say you were sorry, and it was your Christian duty to tell the truth. So I have not very many words for you. My heart breaks for you to have such an evil, control, and spawns of Satan.
Thank you, Mr. Maker. Who's next?
That shit is crazy, y'all. As I was watching that shit, I was wondering, why did the parents let her date that dude at 13? Such a heartbreaking story. My God. You know how she did that impact statement? That's how everybody should be talking. Stop forgiving these monsters. They need to be recycled. Ew.